A blast of early winter weather is bringing the nation's growing season to a close. Farmers are now racing to finish their harvest from the Midwest to the plains. Temperatures dropping into the teens and 20s, but warmer weather and light rain ahead should help farmers wrap up what's been a season marked by uncertainty and tight margins nationwide. Joining me now is Lindy Savelle. She's a farm owner there in Georgia. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us on Morning in America.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So look, as people are drinking their orange juice right now this morning, tell us how your citrus farm is being impacted.
Well, we've had some 2 nights of cold that's just been down, below freezing, and within 36 hours before that, we had a severe hailstorm here. So we have really been wreaking. The weather's been wreaking havoc on us, but that's just Mother Nature and farming.
Yeah, well, look, we know temperatures dipped into the 20s in some areas. Look, I'm from North Carolina. I'm hopping on a plane in a couple hours to go home. And I told my husband, I said, you got to cover up the pansies. You got to do, all the things that you do when the weather gets cold like this. But then I thought, I shouldn't be feeling sorry for myself. These farmers, they depend, these pansies are just something I like to look at. This is your livelihood. So tell us what kind of emergency measures you were doing to protect your trees.
Yeah, so we freeze protect every tree in Georgia. That's a must. You can't just plant trees and expect them to be able to survive year after year without doing something to prevent them from, being killed by the cold. So we put a microjet on each tree. And when a temperature, in our farm, when it turns 36, we turn on the water and we don't turn it off until it gets back up to at least 36. So it forms ice around the tree and that keeps it from freezing. It's very counterintuitive, but it works.
Okay, yeah, interesting. I'd never heard of that. The cold weather, it's effectively ending the growing season nationwide, we're told. What are you hearing from other farmers in your network across the Southeast? Is that a trend that you're seeing or not?
Well, certainly with produce, that's everyone was busy picking all their peppers and everything that's a soft tissue. For us with citrus, actually the cold weather helps us have a sweeter fruit. So the closer you can go to freezing without actually freezing the fruit, the sweeter it tastes. So we grow a lot of satsumas here. That's what you're seeing there in that bag, or satsumas.
Oh, gosh, it's so refreshing in the morning, too. And maybe it'll be a little bit sweeter. That's the silver lining from all this, it sounds like. With rising costs in this weather uncertainty, though, what are farmers like you, what are you worried about most heading into next season?
Well, certainly labor is an issue. It continues to be an issue for those of us, that rely on labor to help harvest our fruit. And because we grow a lot of satsumas here in Georgia, every single one of those has to be clipped off the tree rather than picked. You have to take a pair of clippers and clip each piece off, which is very time consuming, and labor is the number one issue for us here in the Southeast.
Yeah. Look, for consumers watching at home, we're all thinking about, oh man, when we are hearing that there are issues with the harvest, that's not only hurting the farmers, but it may hurt the consumers' bottom line as well, our wallets. How are we going to be impacted when we go to the grocery store and buy produce?
Well, hopefully, a lot of the produce that is sold in grocery stores is purchased from outside the U.S., and that's always a problem because, it costs more to grow it actually here in the U.S. because of those labor costs. But I think to the consumer, they're getting a fresher product, obviously, when it comes from the United States and grown here locally. So we just hope that people take that into consideration. We try to make the prices as fair as possible.
Yeah, well, we're talking about the weather right now, but you said your biggest concern is labor, and it has been, and it continues to be. We were out of time, but as we go, how has Trump's immigration crackdown impacted you and the farmers you know?
Oh boy, we've had some issues with labor. It scared a lot of the people that were working here locally. They ran scared. Of course, every farm, we want to make sure that all of our workers are legal. But sometimes you may have a family member that's not here legally, and what happens is the entire family goes. They leave, and that leaves a big void. But I think in the end, it's going to be better for us to make sure we have reliable labor and make sure everyone's legal. That's what we all want.
Great. Lindy Savelle, thank you so much for being here. Good luck with you. And here's to sweeter orange juice this year. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.